Hello, today I'm going to show you Team Planner. So how does Team Planner works? For that purpose, I created one project, as I usually do. I have two resources. You will see on view resource sheet that I have John and Mary, and I will create 4 tasks. Here, I will create one manually scheduled task, which will be called Task 1. Remember that this task is manually scheduled and it doesn't have resource assigned to it. Another task, Task 2, will be also manually scheduled, but it will have John assigned to it. Okay? Third task will be automatically scheduled, Task 3, but it will have 4 days duration, but there will be no resources assigned to this task. And last but not least, Task 4 will have also 4 days duration automatically, and I will assign Mary. So you can see I have 4 tasks. 2 of them are manually scheduled, 2 of them automatically scheduled. One automatic task has assigned resources, the other doesn't. One manual scheduled task has assigned resources and the other does not. Now Team Planner, where can I see it? I can see it here, Gantt chart, more views, and I can scroll down and I can go to Team Planner. You will see it here. But I can go to tasks. I can use Gantt chart as well. I will find it here. But the easiest way is to go down there on shortcuts, Team Planner. So I will click on it. You will see that we have 4 quadrants. Let me explain each of them. On the lower left side of the screen, you will find all tasks which are unscheduled and unassigned. They are totally orphaned. What does it mean? For task 1, it means that we know that we should do task 1, but we don't know the duration, start date and end date, so we don't know when it will happen, but also we don't know who is going to work on it. On the other hand, with task 2, we don't know, this is unscheduled task, when it's supposed to happen, but we know that John is supposed to work on it. On the lower right part of the screen, we have task 3, which is automatically scheduled, so we know exactly when it should happen, 4 days from 8th of August to 9th, 10th, 11th of August, 4-day duration, but we don't know who is going to work on it. And last but not least, we can see that we have a task 4 for which we know everything. It means that we know exactly when it should happen, so it is scheduled, and who is going to work on it, Mary. So you can see 4 quadrants. Lower left, orphan. We have a task, but we don't have a clue when it should be scheduled, so how long will it take from where, for start date and end date, and who is supposed to work on it. Task 2, we know who is supposed to work on it, John in my case, but we don't know the schedule, how long it will take, duration, and start and finish date. Here, we know exactly where the task is supposed to be worked on, so schedule is known, 4 days from 8 August, but we don't know who is supposed to work on it, and last but not least, task 4, we know everything. Now, what can we do? Besides that, we can see how tasks are, let's say, scheduled or unscheduled, where they belong. Let me show you an example. I will click on this arrow, and arrow is here, so I can see everything. So what can I do? I can simply drag and drop those tasks. So I can say, okay, task 1, for example, is going to be worked by Mary. I don't know the schedule, but I know who is going to work on it. Or I can say task 1 will be performed let's say, sorry, here. Okay? Task 3 and duration is, you can see, 1 day. Can I do something else? Of course I can. I can move it, or I can double click on it and I can say, oh no, I need 3 days for this task. Because when I double click, I will have task information. Okay, now we get it. So, but what if I put task 2 for John here? Since it was unscheduled here, I don't know exactly how long it will take, so I will say, okay, John is going to work on task 2, 2 days. Okay. But what if I assign the same task here, task 3, not the same task, task 3, which is unscheduled? I can put it wherever I want, and I can say, okay, for task 3, I want Mary to work on it. What can I do? I can go here, I can say, okay, Mary, when I click on OK, you will see one great thing. When you have 2 tasks which are supposed to be done by the same person, same resource, at the same time, you will see that this task is overallocated, and you will see which tasks are overallocated. So here, okay, and I can say, okay, I don't want Mary to work on this task. I will assign it to John. Okay, and John is supposed to work on task 2 here as well. Now John is overallocated. I can say that Mary is supposed to work on task 1 and task 3 at the same time. What can I do? Just drag it here. Let's say, okay, so in this time period, Mary is overallocated. Task 1 is supposed to start here 1 day. At Monday, Mary is fine, but from Tuesday to Wednesday, she is supposed to work on task 1 and task 3. Okay, great thing. Now I can say, oh, I don't want it. I want it here. Let's go back here on Gantt chart. You can see those things. Okay, so start not earlier than. So to explain you this situation, I will now remove all tasks and I will create some tasks, task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. And all of they are going to have 4 days duration, okay? And I will say here, John, Mary, John, Mary, okay? Now, you will see that they are overallocated. If I go to Team Planner, and if I say that John is supposed to work on task 3, after he finishes his task 1, I will move it. And if I go here with Mary as well, those resources are not going to be overallocated anymore. But if I go back to Gantt chart, I will see that the tasks which are moved by me in Team Planner here are now, let's go back here. I moved task 3 and task 4 because I didn't want that John, and I still don't want that John is going to be overallocated. Task 3 for John and task 4 for Mary. When I go back to Gantt chart, I will see that those tasks will have, after I move them in a Team Planner, constraint which it start not earlier than. So basically, in this Team Planner, when I move task 3 here, I said to Microsoft Project, this task cannot be started before Friday, 12th of August. And you can see the constraint here as well, okay? So what if I move task here, task 1 here, or task 2 here, and go back to Gantt chart? I will see, after I move them, they have, sorry, I have a sneeze. They have the same constraints. So when you move tasks, from one place to another, from one time period to another, using Team Planner, those tasks will automatically start not earlier than constraint. And now, what about predecessor and successors? So let me show you that. Here you can see one simple project, 4 tasks. All tasks, they have 4 days duration. Task 2 has predecessor task 1. Task 4 has predecessor task 3. Task 1 and 3 is supposed to work. Assigned the resources is John. Task 2 and 4 is Mary. Let's go to Team Planner. Here you can see that task 1 and task 3 are supposed to be worked. John is supposed to work on it, and task 2 and task 4, Mary, and we can see that she is overallocated and when. What if I want to say, let's go back to Gantt chart, that task 2 should be worked on, let's say, here. She's not overallocated, but let's go back to Gantt chart. I will have the same thing. So you can see that the Mary and task 2 has predecessor task 1, but she is not overallocated anymore. So let me undo this. What if I have 2 resources on the same task? So what if I have here John and Mary on both tasks? So both on task 1, on task 2, on task 3, on task 4. How will it be shown on Team Planner? You can see that task 1 is shown twice, task 2 as well, task 3 as well, and task 4 as well. Why is that? Because task 1 here, we can see in this line here in this quadrant, all tasks by all resources. So since John is going to work on task 1 and Mary as well, you will see those tasks twice. This part is for John, this part is for Mary. So I can say, I don't want Mary to work on this task 2 here and task 2 here. I will move task 1 at the same time when a task 2, and task 4 after some time here, and I will put her not overallocated. So she's supposed to work on task 1 from Friday to Wednesday, and John is going to work on task 1 from Monday to Thursday. And in task 3, let's say here. So they are now not overallocated. What will happen in Gantt chart? In Gantt chart, you will see that task 1 has now 8 days duration and has start not earlier than. Why is that? Because if I go to Team Planner, I can say I left John to work on tasks from Monday to Thursday, but I moved the task 1 for Mary to work here, to work on this task here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 days for John, and 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see the whole duration of task 1 for John and Mary is 8 days. So, and you can see this task 3 is splitted. Why is that? Because in a Team Planner, I said, okay, Mary is going to work on task 3 here, but John is going to work on task 3 here. So I split this task because I want one part of a task to be performed by Mary from 8th of August to 11th of August, and another part should not be started by John immediately here, which could be done, and in that case I will have here, you will see task 3 in one line, but instead of that, I want to go here and say, no, John, you are going to work on task 3 here, okay? And you are not going to work here on any tasks. Or I can say, okay, you can work on task 2 here, okay, and you will see that it will ask me to put task, you will need remove to put task link, because task there, to remove link, double click the task. So I should, before I move it here, I should remove the predecessor. So here I will not do it, and since, once again, back to my example, task 3 is supposed to be worked on Mary here, but after sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, John, after this task 3 is finished by Mary, John, 8 days after that, should supposed to work on the same task, so it will be splitted, as you can see, in 8 days. So, task team planner is great tool, but be aware when you drag and drop here things, okay, that you can get in a lot of troubles here in Gantt chart. You will set the constraints, and duration can be changed. So, from my usage, I always do it like this way. Let me show you. When I have task 1, and I have task 2, and task 3, and task 4, and I have 4 days, okay? And I say, here is the schedule, and I will say here, John and Mary both, and last but not least, John and Mary both. Here I forgot Mary here, and Mary here. And when I go to Team Planner, I see the situation, but I never move the tasks here. Why? Because I will get maybe wrong schedule, and I will have constraints. So from my point of view, so if you don't want to do it my way, fine. But from my point of view, the Team Planner is great thing to see if there are some unscheduled tasks for some resources, if there are some unscheduled tasks without resources, or some scheduled tasks with resources. So let me show you when it happens to be there. If I remove John here, you will see if I go to Team Planner that the task 1 will be here. But when I want, so I can see here everything, but when I want to fix it, I use Gantt chart. Okay, I use Gantt chart to say, okay, task 1 is not here. Okay, John. Okay, now let's see, they are over-allocated. Let me see where they are over-allocated. Oh yeah, task 3 and task 1 is supposed to work for, John is supposed to work. I need to reschedule somehow that. I go here and I say, okay, John is not going to work work on it, or I will put, let's say, predecessor task 1, so John is not going to be over-allocated. Let me see if I get it. Okay, John is not over-allocated, but task 2 and task 3, Mary is still over-allocated. Let me go back to Gantt chart and see, okay, Mary is over-allocated. Okay, I will say that Mary is going to work after those tasks, on that task after task 2 is going to be finished. As you can see, now I can see in my Team Planner that everything is fine. But I never ever move things like this, okay? Like here, okay, I don't want to be, I don't know where the schedule is, okay, I want to put it here, etc., etc. So, I don't want to do it, because sometimes you will have to remove links, etc., etc. I don't do it. I just use Team Planner as a good thing to see how am I standing. Is there some orphan tasks which are unscheduled and unassigned? If there are some orphan which are assigned but unscheduled. If there are some often which are scheduled but unassigned, those three. And finally, what you want to have is that all your tasks should be here, assigned and scheduled. And when they are here, you will see over allocation, fix it, and you will get a clear and concise picture of a team planner. This was this wasn't a short video, but I hope it helps and explained a lot. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.